Feed your baby when they show early feeding cues. These include stirring from sleep, opening and closing their mouth, turning their head from side to side, bringing their hands to their mouth and becoming restless. Crying is a late feeding cue and will make it harder to attach your baby well. Calm your baby first and then offer your breast. Feeding your baby should be comfortable, and pain during breastfeeds can be a sign that your baby does not have a good mouthful of breast. If your baby only has your nipple in their mouth, feeding might feel pinchy, and you may notice that when your baby comes away from your breast, your nipple is misshapen. Your baby won't be getting enough milk and may want to feed for long periods of time, but never seem content or settled. When you are ready to feed your baby, we use a simple acronym to help us remember how to position a baby at the breast: CHIN. C stands for close to mum. H stands for head free. I stands for inner line. And N stands for nose to nipple. We're going to look at each of these in turn. C, close to mum. Notice how this mum is holding her baby close against her body. There's no space between baby's body and mum's chest. H, head free. It's really important that your baby can tip his head back in order to get a deep latch. Notice how this mum is supporting baby around the back of his neck and shoulders rather than covering his head with her hand. I stands for inner line. For feeding to be comfortable for your baby, it's important that his head and body are both facing the same direction rather than having his neck twisted. And N stands for nose to nipple. Positioning your baby so that their nose is opposite your nipple means that when they open their mouth to latch on, they will take a deeper mouthful of breast and not just suck on the end of your nipple. We're going to watch that again, but in slow motion. First of all, see how mum has lined up baby with her nipple pointing towards his nose. As baby feels mum's nipple brushing against his top lip, this will stimulate him to open his mouth wide. Mum then brings baby onto her breast. He takes a large mouthful of breast, not just the nipple. It's important to bring your baby onto your breast rather than posting your nipple into their mouth. Babies will suck on anything that they sense near their mouth, so bringing your baby on quickly when you see them open their mouth will make it more likely that they'll end up with a lot of breast in their mouth and not just your nipple. This is a very newborn baby. See how mum has lined her up nose to nipple. When baby senses breast near her mouth, she will instinctively open her mouth wide. At this point, speed is really important to bring your baby on quickly onto your breast. Again, remember, not posting your nipple into the baby's mouth. When baby is well attached, we can see more of your areola above the baby's top lip than below her bottom lip. Feeding should be comfortable. When baby is feeding with a good, comfortable latch, you should see that their nose is free and their chin is pressed into the breast. Their cheeks should be rounded and not sucked in while they're feeding. They will take long sucks and swallows with short pauses, and after the initial attachment, it should feel comfortable. There are many books and apps about feeding and caring for babies available to parents, and some contain useful information. However, no book or app will be able to tell you when your baby is hungry. Responsive feeding means watching your baby for feeding cues rather than what the clock or an app says. And the wonderful thing about breastfeeding is that it's not only a way of giving your baby milk. Offering a feed is a great way of soothing your baby, calming him when he is upset, or just having a nice cuddle and rest together. Babies that are kept close to their parents and are cared for and fed responsively cry less and have lower levels of cortisol, a stress hormone. Loving close contact such as breastfeeds, skin-to-skin contact, cuddles, kisses and strokes boost levels of oxytocin, the happy hormone. High levels of oxytocin are great for mum's milk supply help with bonding, and also acts as fertiliser for your baby's growing brain. Your baby's brain will be making lots of connections between brain cells as a result, which helps set your baby up for lifelong emotional security. Low levels of cortisol and high levels of oxytocin help with this. Babies who have their need for feeds and closeness met consistently and quickly become secure that they are loved and cared for, and become happy babies and toddlers. Some mums will offer their baby a feed because their breasts feel full or because it suits them to feed before leaving the house. You cannot overfeed a breastfed baby, and lots of frequent feeds in the early days and weeks with a comfortable latch will mean your breasts make plenty of milk for your baby. After the first 24 hours, during which your baby might be fairly sleepy and feed infrequently, your baby will want to feed more often, and generally 8 to 10 feeds per day is normal. It is very common for babies to start cluster feeding in the early weeks when they want to feed on and off lots of times over a few hours for part of each day and seem unsettled. Many mums worry that this means that their baby isn't getting enough milk, but it's actually your baby's way of helping your supply to build. Plenty of feeds means plenty of milk. Feeds will generally last between 20 and 40 minutes, and most babies will feed from both breasts each time, so it's a good idea to always offer the second breast. If feeds are much longer than this, it may be a sign that your baby's latch could be better, so please ask for help. You will know that your baby is getting plenty of milk by watching their nappies. On days 1 and 2, your baby will pass the black, thick, tar-like poo called meconium and do 2 to 3 wet nappies. On days 3 and 4, your baby's poo will start to change to a lighter, greener colour with increasing wet nappies. By day 4 onwards, your baby's poo will be a yellow colour, and he will be doing at least 2 dirty nappies and 6 wet nappies each day. You will also know that he's getting enough milk if he is putting on weight and is generally settled between feeds most of the time. Many mums find they need support to get feeding off to a good start. Ask for help from a midwife at the Bluebell Birth Centre or your health visitor, or find a local breastfeeding group to attend in person or online. The infant feeding team here at Warwick Hospital host regular Facebook Live Q&A sessions. We've covered lots of information in this video. If you haven't already been given a copy of this booklet, The Mothers and Others Guide, please ask a member of the maternity team. It contains all the information from this video, as well as much more.